In 1992, the government of Jamaica signed an agreement with the union. The unions then recognized that the country was in an almost impossible fiscal predicament. Essentially, what it means is that the government was not in a position to pay the workers the increase that they deserved. They didn't have the revenues, the tax revenues. That's what it meant. And being good partners, the unions agreed. They looked at the books of the government and they understood that the government couldn't make money out of here. And they said to the government, we're not going to let you off like that, because it is your duty to create the revenues, to run the country in such a way that you can give the wage increases. So what we're going to do is to say to you, the resources that you have on hand, which you have not converted into cash, but which can be used to help with the development of workers. We're going to create an agreement around that for the development of our workers. You have lands that you're not using. You can give scholarships to the children of workers and the workers themselves. You can give concessionary access to the NHT resources. Well, put those in a package and we will sign to them. The initial agreement was that the unions would get, I believe it is 20 acres per parish. You see, those people who talk nonsense about the country not going in the right way and that nothing has changed in Jamaica, I urge them, before they open their mouth, in the information age, just go and Google. That was the situation 32 years ago. Today, the government has allocated $200 billion to make the adjustment in public sector wages. You see why it is important that we have these ceremonies? So that we can place things in context, because ignorance is abroad in our land. The truth is, 32 years ago, the students who are going to be graduating, they wouldn't know anything about that. That's not the Jamaica that they experience today. The 30-year-old won't know about the parlor state of Jamaica during that period of time. The lands that were given weren't all given at once. They were identified. The government has a land bank. But not every piece of land on paper that appears to be available is actually available. Many of the lands that were allocated under this 1992 agreement were informally occupied already, including this piece of land. They were squatted. So the government gave lands or pledged lands that couldn't be used. Not my government, because I'm very clear about how land should be used. So all those people talking without researching and looking at the facts, let me bring the facts to you. So though they signed the agreement with the unions, it could not be fulfilled. And for those lands that could be fulfilled, they came under competition from other government programs. One comes to mind readily, Operation Pride. So some of the lands that were pledged under this agreement for the unions were absorbed into Operation Pride. So it is not as if the lands were all available for the project to move. Now, let's say there were some lands available and we could start some of the projects. Well, the first project started in 1997. Why? So from 2002 to 1997, what was the problem? The government bureaucracy to simply transfer the land from the government to the unions to demonstrate ownership. Just to move the lands off the government books to the unions. To this date, some of the lands pledged have not yet been transferred.